Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Red change, now we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. This is G3 cars.
Drop downhill there, head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, put it back from the inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup Series. This is Tier 2, this is Donington, and this is most certainly going to be mixed conditions. Exciting one leading into this round. Obviously, the first time round we had Paul in pole position, Josh Waring in second, and KUNOS-Simulazioni in third. So just coming towards the end of free practice, and you can see that Horsey already right there at the top, and so is Waring. So should be interesting to see how these cars get on. McLarens, or the mid-engine cars, seem to be dominating the top end of the field, but as the weather changes, will that continue? Times at the moment looking at 1:25 from Horsey. To be fair, that's a really good lap time, especially in a non-qualifying trim per se. It'd be interesting to see whether that time could be translated into the main race as well. But do let us know in the chat if there is anyone particularly you want to see on screen. I will do my very best to make sure that everyone gets a little bit of screen time. But usually we try and keep an eye on the battles as much as possible. But we like to have a little look around everyone else as well. But so this is Donington Circuit. Gorgeous track in the UK, sort of based in the Midlands. And actually we can stay with Holm as he is going round a lap at the moment. So he's just going down through Hollywood, through the Craner curves. Really high commitment set of turns here. Absolutely foot to the boards, then hard on the brakes for the old hairpin. And flying under Starkey's Bridge, up the hill towards McLean's. Oh, have a quick look at the chat. Yorkie, he is not in this season as far as I can see. A Tier 2 veteran, as I would say, always around. Seen him in the Endurance Championships as well, here with Apex Online Racing. But yeah, I'm not actually sure what he's up to at the moment. I haven't seen any of his streams in a little while, so maybe just be caught up in real life for the moment. And Mini Simeon, good evening. Welcome along. Talking about Yorkie being a Tier 2 veteran. At this point, I think it is fair to be saying that Mini Simeon is a chat veteran. Whether it be Tier 1 or Tier 2, you're always here. And a pleasure to see you there as well. So quickly on board with Morfroy, who, if I am not mistaken, has had a car change, I believe. Yes, they have. So all points would have been deducted from round 1. But yes, they are now in the McLaren. So this will be their first race in the McLaren, so it'd be interesting to see how they get on with that car. We're just coming towards the end of free practice now, and obviously Morfroy trying to get as many laps as possible in that reasonably new car to him. I think actually he might be the only driver out of the circuit. Oh no, car number 5 is out there as well, which is Bjorkvist. for the Eclipse Racing Esports Porsche. Although this is going to come to an end in just a moment, and we'll be going into qualification. It'll be interesting to see if it stays dry for qualification or if it's going to be wet. I think after seeing how much the weather played in the strategy last night in Tier 1, where there was only 10 minutes of rain right at the very end, I really do think some people might be praying for more fixed conditions, but we'll have to wait and see. The usual early pit stop at Donington strategy did not work for everyone last night. Actually, kind of a 6-0 as well out on the track. Which car is that? Let's try and find some names in the list. Jimenez. Baptiste Jimenez, the Prima Esports. Oh, it's a very, very long name. F296 GT3 2023. I mean, pretty much lists off what the car is there. And a very popular car this season indeed, this Ferrari. To see two of the Mercedes here this evening as well. Oh, and a band of the lap. There we go. Right, so going into qualification in just a second. Okay, so rain coming in half an hour, but that doesn't matter at the moment due to the fact that obviously the qualification is only 15 minutes long. So let's see if we can jump on with our first car out the pit, which appears to be car number 199, one of the Porsches. Let's see if it is. It is indeed. It's Luca Ziege in the magical Mirari. Interesting to see how the Porsche's going. I know a lot of people have messaged to say that the Porsche feels very, very sloppy when it starts to get wet here at Donington. You really got to make sure you get all your braking done absolutely spot on, otherwise that car just understeers wildly. And I know the drivers are struggling to get the power down on the exit when it's wet. So I imagine Ziege will be praying for dryness. Yeah, very true. Just seeing that in the chat as well. Yes, the Lamborghini's made a really good comeback. The new Evo, or the new car, isn't it? It's made a really good comeback. It's nice to see. Always the new cars are very, very popular at the beginning when they first come out. They always are slightly favoured by the balance of performance. They haven't quite worked out how to tweak them to get them perfectly equal with everything else. So hence you always see an absolute influx of cars from the new liveries, or from the new garages. So first flying lap coming up now for Ziege, and we'll stick on board as he heads down towards Redgate. Ooh, using every last millimetre of the circuit there. Throws it in, nice bit of apex all the way out to the outside. Now they're going to head down towards Hollywood. Let's see how committed they stay down the hill. Sounds like they're absolutely flat to the floor, getting on the brakes for the old hairpin. Swinging it in. Good chunk of inside curve, runs it all the way to the outside again. Out of the brakes, swinging it through McLean's. So now heading up the hill through Coppice and then onto the Dunlop Straight. Almost feels like a double apex this turn. You really have to make sure you don't get on the power too soon, or you'll end up going out wide and lose a lot of exit speed on the grass. Fogarty S's, this is where a race can be won or lost, and we saw it a lot of times last night in Tier 1. People overshooting it or just absolutely overcooking it and going off on the right-hand side of the circuit as well. And so down through the Melbourne Loop, and then final corner of Goddard's, and we will get our first flying lap and an idea of what the pace is going to be like here in Tier 2 this evening. Throwing it in. Looked like a very nice tidy lap to be fair, but look, already catching up with back markers, so people on the just about to start their first flyers. So the first lap is a 1:27.085. I would imagine those times are going to start pouring in now. Yes, Clifford comes in as well, currently taking the spot with a 1:27.07. Clifford holding on to it for the moment, but those times starting to come in nice and smooth. Let's see if we can find our winner from last week, which was Nowski. Whereabouts on the timing board are they hiding? They may even be with pilots actually looking at the timing board at the moment. I haven't seen them pop up, although it is going absolutely crazy as people come flying across the line and they change whereabouts they're sitting in the list. Don't think Narowski's actually in the server this evening, so that's a bit of a shame. He was our pole man last time round. So Josh Waring, let's see if we can find him in amongst the list. I know for certain he is here. I definitely saw him during pre-qualification. Oh, he was there. Where's he gone? I think he's just gone flying to the top of the list, possibly. Josh Waring, he was here somewhere. Good lord, let's just get someone else on the screen. Hamlin for a moment now. Hamlin running in 13th place at the moment, coming towards the end of his lap. We'll stick with Hamlin, being slowly demoted down the times as he is going along. Tends to be the case. This early in qualification, people make a massive jump. Oh, there you go. Waring is actually up into pole position at this point. So sticking with Hamlin at the moment. It's 0.4 up on his time, which is a huge improvement. He's running in 17th at the moment, with a definite improvement when he crosses the line. Up into second place. Massive jump up the timing board. Absolutely fantastic effort. He's out there on a big one. Terminen actually coming up towards the end of the line for UPS Racing. Gets himself into second place as well. The current fastest lap is a 1:26.497 from Josh Waring. But there are some drivers certainly pushing and really trying to find the time. So we go, here we go with Faced. Simon Faced. Car number 37, Toaster Racing, which I do love the name, and I'm a little bit biased because I love the Mercedes AMG. It is my go-to understeering baby. Coming in the penultimate turn now, Melbourne Loop. Really important not to get on the power too soon in the Mercedes. It really does not like it. If you get on the power mid-turn, or even just start to roll the throttle on to maintain momentum, really easy to understeer in this car. Get all your braking done, throw the car in, really have to let it coast through the apex, then wind on the power at the end. It's got quite a ferocious back end on it as well, up into 26th. Getting himself sort of midfield, 28 cars here this evening, absolutely fantastic to see so many cars out there at the moment. Let's have a little look back at the pointy end of the field. So, people improving, Terminen improving. Oh, Moffroy. Let's jump on board with them as it comes towards the penultimate turn. As we said, in a new car to him this evening. So, final turn coming up. Still 0.3 up on that time as he comes into Goddard's. They get a decent run. Doesn't appear to have backed out. Still 0.3 up. Let's see what they are at the line. They're in 10th at the moment. Up into second place, really good effort. Oh, Webber takes away pole position as well, just noticed, with a 1:26.222. Oh, I think Muffroy might have gone a little bit too wide there on the entrance to Redgate Corner. Maybe just a little bit too wide. It looked like he completely dipped both tyres into that pit exit road. So I would imagine that is going to invalidate the lap. So Jimmy Holm also on a bit of a flyer. Looks like he's on the Dunlop straight at the moment. Lovely looking livery on that Ferrari. Almost green. Oh, and he abandons the lap. Obviously dissatisfied with it. Cargaloo. Here we go. We'll jump on board with Cargaloo for this. Stability control of 88%. And actually, Cargaloo did get in touch with me a little bit earlier today. I put out the feelers to see if people wanted to talk. Using that black gold saw livery that we obviously see Black Gold Tour using in Tier 1. It is a really nice livery, to be fair. It's gorgeous when you get up close and actually have a look at it. You can really see all the details of the swirls on that Iron Wolf livery. So currently running 11th place. Good effort. I think they're pretty much a dead heat with their previous lap time, so it'll be interesting to see how they continue to move forward, if they can make any improvements. still 11th place, but I mean there's absolutely nothing in it at all. You can see on the timing board well outside of the top 20, all within a second of each other. And if you look at the top 15 within half a second of each other, really does show just how close the racing here is in Tier 2. Cargaloo still pushing forward, looking for a slightly better lap. Oh, Kellaway now in pole as well with a 1:26.160. We might have a jump on with Kellaway. Oh no, they've gone into the pit. I was going to jump on with them. Oh, Piperata has gone into 3rd position as well. So we'll let Cargaloo finish the lap, see if there is an improvement. Lots of people appear to have pitted and then gone back out on fresh tyres. Any improvement here? Yes, up into 6th place for Cargaloo. Really good lap. Going to jump on board with Victor Martin in the Iron Lynx liveried Lamborghini. Lovely looking car, Matt. That's certainly that yellow brightness. Makes it pretty obvious as to where they are on the circuit. Lovely to see these bright liveries. Say a mixture of in-game liveries and custom-made liveries. I mean, to be fair, the effort that goes into some of the custom liveries is absolutely stunning. Something I've had a crack at before is making my own, and they always come out looking like sort of, well, basically like the seat fabric you get on a bus from the 1980s. It's a bit messy. There's lots of colours and shapes, but there's no real pattern to it. But some of these are gorgeous. So Victor Martin 0.3 up on his time. Let's see where he places. Up into 8th place. So from 20-something, I think it was 26th, up into 8th place on the grid. Absolutely fantastic effort. Ooh, Matthew Bouquet as well. 0.6.7 up on his lap. So amazing flyer of a lap. Currently running in 31st place. But where on earth is he going to end up with this one? Up into 8th place. Just dethrones Victor Martin and puts him just inside the top 10. And still absolutely pushing away. Fantastic effort from him there. So I'm looking at big times. Bjorkvist, 0.4 up on the lap. I do feel like every time we cut to them, everybody is right near the end of the circuit, but it just tends to be the way that by the time you get near the end of the lap, that's when you have gained all that time. So Bjorkvist, car number 5, the Eclipse Racing Esports Porsche, was running in 37th and is now running 33rd. Good improvement for them. A little look here. Oh, Gemini's just about to cross the line. Was 38th, now 23rd. Fantastic. It is lovely to see so many new names here as well in Tier 2. It's been quite nice. The summer season always changes the grids up a little bit. It tends to be that some people sort of drop out a little bit over the summer just because it is so absolutely warm, so ridiculously warm. But yeah, so it's very nice to see everyone sort of coming, the new blood coming in per se. And yes, Morphe, who is one of our racers and is a big admin over at Apex Online Racing, within 36 drivers within a second of each other. That is unbelievable effort, isn't it? 36 drivers within a second. And as he says, people question the way they put the tiers together. But yeah, there is method to the madness, it has to be said. So I think we all have the same question, and that is, how is the Nissan getting on? It's a brilliant car. So we'll jump on and actually see where the Nissan is sitting. Let's have a quick look. That one is, I had the name earlier on. It's Toulouse, yes it is. Oh, goodness gracious, apologies. Running in 5th place, Toulouse, in the Nissan GTR. We said it last week, actually, that we just could not believe that someone had managed to get the car this far up. And here we are. I actually had a little chat with Toulouse earlier today. They've been racing for 3 years at this point. But this is their first serious competition, so fair play coming into their first serious competition and coming into Tier 2 immediately. That's a really good effort. God, look at that, the Nissan bounced through the bottom of the crane curves, then holding on desperately. Oh, a little bit wide there, maybe a little bit too hot into the old hairpin. So aiming for top 10 in the championship, even in the slightly slower car. So absolutely fantastic. And 24-year-old driver. So I bet they're absolutely furious that Monfoy's got car number 24. Yeah, going to try and put a little bit more info on the drivers into the season this time. So if you know any of the drivers, or if you are a driver watching this back, feel free to message me through the Discord, Tim360Learn. You'll be able to find me. I'm in the Tier 2 chat. Hit me up with some information. Always nice to have a little bit of a spotlight on drivers from time to time. So with 1 minute and 30 left of qualifying, this is, well, basically it's 1 lap's worth. So if anyone's crossing the line now, they could just about squeeze 2 laps in. Paul and Toulouse looking like they're going to stay out there and try and keep going. Horsey, let's jump on board with them as they are currently running in pole position. Although they are slowing a lot, obviously hooking it up for 1 last lap. Porsche obviously thinks they can improve ever so slightly in the Optimum Motorsport car, and to be fair, optimum effort, optimum timing. Oh, saying that there, Josh Waring has come along with a 126.012. Are we going to see anyone scrape into the elusive 125s? So people on fast laps at the moment. We have got Vardier, car number 882, that lovely screaming Lamborghini. Racing for RSGT, and that's a lovely looking split livery. Nice to see the split livery still making an appearance here in Apex Online Racing. I have noticed while going through every single livery. Oh, and there we go, decided to abandon the lap. I imagine that was probably invalidated through the chicane. Someone that, looking at the times now, it's how they're flying in at the moment. Here is one running in 25th place at the moment. Car number 17 coming across the line. 25th up into 10th. Amazing. And they've got time for 1 more lap out there as well. Be interesting to see what the weather does mid-race, actually, as a qualification, it's showing that it is it's going to get wetter, but obviously it doesn't matter. That's essentially the end of qualification now. It's just people on their final lap. So anyone on an improvement out there? Yes, Schaefer is on an improvement. Just coming through the top half of the circuit onto the Dunlop Straight. Currently on a flyer still. We'll see how they do. They're 0.2 up, as we have discussed earlier on, with 36 drivers within a second of each other. Oh, car side on the track just there. Schiffer could see themselves really climb up the order here. If they could just keep it clean. The Cosmos Racing Team Porsche. Throwing it in, keeping it together, actually 0.3 up on their time now, so it's going to be a good one. They're running in 30th at the moment. Where are they going to come across the line to? Up into 17th place. Massive jump up the list. Absolutely fantastic effort by them, and actually that appears to be pretty much everyone across the line now. Brilliant effort by everyone there. Absolutely fantastic effort. So we sit and wait for the grid formation. It will not be long. Oh, just let the cameras do their thing. So yeah, there you go. Absolutely stunning qualification from everyone then. It's going to be an interesting one to see how this goes as they enter the race. But everyone is stacking up on the grid. So let's have a little look through. We'll pop on the helicopter cam so you can at least see the top of the cars, and we can go through everyone's name. So Josh Waring holding on to pole position at the moment. Huno Horsey running in 2nd place. Jimmy Holm in 3rd place. Sergio Piperata, who we didn't look at too much during qualification, but is there in the Italian job Audi. Another one of those confusing ones where it's the Italian job but not an Italian car. Matthias Weber in 5th place. Mueller in 6th. Kellaway in 7th. Malfroy in 8th. Verdier in 9th. And Feist in 10th place. So really, really good set of drivers there in the top 10. I'm just seeing it in the chat. Tier 2 is full of sandbaggers. I don't think so. It just shows how close Tier 1 and Tier 2 are. I mean, like, we do see racers dipping back and forth between the tiers quite a lot. You know, you sort of have a bad season in Tier 1, you end up going down to Tier 2. You have a great season in Tier 2, you go to Tier 1. You know, you've got names up there this year like Jay Fang, per se, who has been a great driver in Tier 2. Really great to see so many people up there. Casagina, people like that. Huge names in Tier 2 that are now making their way into Tier 1. And it's lovely to see. So continuing on with the grid. Toulouse, car number 11, car number 4 running in 11th. Kimonich in 12th place. Arlavi in 13th place. Demira, 14th place. Kogaloo, 15th place. Terminen, a well-known name here at Apex Online Racing, running in 16th place. Schaefer in 17th. Kogert in 18th place. And that is Schweidruski in 19th place. Bouquet in 20th. So about halfway through the grid at the moment. And as you can see, some glorious cars. Victor Martin, 21st place. Manuel Rutter, 22nd. Siege, 23rd. Clifford, 24th. Shipper, 25th. Oh, let me change that one. There we go. Hamling in 26th place. Vukoski in 27th. Zeelenberg, 28th. Kevin Niles, 29th. And Jean-Michel Brin in 30th. So into the last few cars now. At Stuart McLeod in 31st place. James Cowley, 32nd. Jimenez, 33rd. That is going to be, do apologise. That is Krajowski in 34th place. Stephen Frost, 35th. Bjorkvist, 36th. Vazaliv in 37th. And Louis Alexandra in 38th place, rounding out the grid respectively. Oh my good lord. That is a massive, massive grid. Luckily, Donington is a big old track, plenty of space to go, 2 or 3 cars wide, but not a massive amount of places to make sort of safe, easy overtakes. It's anyone's game, especially looking at the weather. Currently showing that the first 30 minutes of the race are going to be just cloudy. Track is 26 degrees, so not particularly hot, but not too cold either, so that shouldn't be too bad. Reasonably similar to how it was in pre-qualification practice sessions. So, who's got money on it raining for more than 10 minutes at the end? I really hope we see some rain again tonight. It was great seeing the rain last night in Tier 1. Basically, it's just nice to see the mix-up of different strategies. We had drivers trying to go all the way to the 10 minutes to the end to go over to the wet. So we saw Jardier go for that effort. And I think the only driver really that stayed on dries and came away, and I think, was Luke Whitehead, who is an absolute alien among aliens. He is the alienist of the aliens, it has to be said. And he was out there in an Audi, so 2 Audis in the top 10, which is really nice to see. And there was Mercedes in the top 10. And just outside of the top 10, 11th place is Toulouse, car number 4. So here we go. This is the formation lap. Plenty of braking, plenty of swerving, I imagine we're going to see from everyone here this evening, trying to get a little bit of temperature. And what a gorgeous shot that is as they all come down to Redgate for the first time. Even if it may only be at a limited speed, it is lovely to see. So, who has their money on any particular racer? Do we think there's going to be a dark horse coming through, or are we thinking it's going to be Waring, Horsey and Holm who pull away from the pack? I think round 1 we saw a pretty close, tight-knit battle. The top 5 drivers were very close. I think that actually the main reason it got broken up, there was some sort of obscure net code issue, which sadly is part of sim racing. These obscure internet faults that just come along from time to time, but with an hour of Donington set before us, and Waring having such a strong field behind him, I imagine he will be absolutely sweating at the moment. So just coming up towards McLean's now. I mean, the camera makes it look reasonably flat, but if you have ever raced here, it is quite a steep hill, and as you come up over the crest, that's almost where you need to be getting off the brakes, is when you're coming over the crest, otherwise the car goes really light. And again here up at Coppice, it's kind of another double apex turn as you come off the Dunlop Straight, another place where positions are going to be won and lost. And then obviously down to the Fogarty S's, and I wonder if the tyre stack will last more than 1 lap. I think it was lap 1, car in 2nd place yesterday sent the tyre stack absolutely flying on the inside of that turn. I mean, I think everyone normally ends up clipping it and getting it out the way within the first couple of laps, but it'd be interesting to see if it does last a few. And there it is, the most unfortunate tyre stack in all of sim racing. sure there are some tyre stacks in other places that are going to get absolute butchering as well. But here we go, the car, everyone's stacking right up on each other as they're getting ready for the final line now into this side-by-side 2x2. And it is Warring versus the Hunting Pack. If you haven't noticed, I love everything about Donington. I just think it's a fantastic circuit. It's absolutely great for tin top racing, whether it be British touring cars, GT racing, any of those kinds. I think it's absolutely fantastic to see. I was gutted that Marciello this year couldn't actually take part in the British touring and the British GT, but here we go, final run to the line, waiting for the lights to go green. They go green mighty early here at Donington. And there we go, lights green, let's go racing. Good start from everyone. No one seemed to make any sort of ridiculous moves. We're going to stick with these first, the starting pack. And already out there outside goes Horseshoe, trying to run it all the way around the outside. It's going to be very brave. Audi goes wide into the gravel. A few cars at the back go into the gravel as well. Only a little bit. Oh, and there was a bump between first and second. I think it was one of those things where it wasn't that much of a touch, but the game likes to do it. Oh, we've got cars off. Car number 999 and 99. Off the circuit. We're going to stick with the bulk of the pack. Oh, and there's someone else there as well. Whereabouts in a circuit with that? That was down by Starkey's Bridge. We've got someone off as well. We're going to stick with the main pack just for now. Horseshoe already starting to run away. Going to jump back a little bit. This is Kellaway. Car number 23 running in 5th place. Absolutely sandwiched in by cars as well. Oh, car number 26 off the circuit again. Rejoining, whether that's damage and that's really making them struggle to keep going. But this top pack of cars. Oh, and moves going on in the background. This is Feist versus Toulouse. That's battle for 9th place respectively, and Toulouse also now under attack from the McLarens. Oh, cars all over the place in the background. Oh, and there's been an incident there. That's car number 7. See if I can get that. Stephen Frost, something going on in the background there. That was into the S's, I believe. Look at Frost's livery now. That's a bit of me. Stunning livery on that Porsche. Absolutely gorgeous. I do like myself an anime livery. That's really good. So what happens here? Going into the S's. Does he just... Oh, he just outbrakes himself. Tries to go up the inside. Oh dear, that's not what you want. Braked really, really late there. You could see what was trying to be done, but I think it was a little bit risky on lap 1 personally. Kellaway setting the fastest lap of the race so far. The top 2 drivers just starting to break away a little bit. So jump back on board with Carglou, who is currently surrounded by Demira and Bouquet. Making a joke to me that apparently he races with a mouse and keyboard, which I think is in reference to the way that Black Gold Tour in Tier 1 races on a controller, which is truly bizarre. I don't know how it is physically possible, but there we go. So at the moment, everyone seems to be playing reasonably nicely. It looks like Terminal in the background having a little bit of a squabble as well. And if we go back further, one more action. So this is Michael Grin. Just squeezing through into the car number 92 of Bukowski. And here comes a big stack of cars. It was a cork in a bottle. Oh, cuts right across the front of everyone. It was... Oh, I can see what was going on. I mean, they obviously were going for their racing line, but they're still getting collected, trying to get out of the way desperately, but lost a lot of positions there. I think that's definitely going to be one for a post-race sort of investigation on that one. Obviously, Tier 1, they have live stewarding. In Tier 2, it is actually after the race, it's post-race. Anything in-game obviously will be applied, but nothing in the race. So back into the battle pack. This is 28th position. This is Alexandra, and you can see the battle going on in front. Everyone's squabbling around. It's looking like it's car number 91 that has become quite the cork in a bottle. No, it's not. I do apologise. It's Zeelenberg. Car number 56 being chased down by the Ferrari of Kevin Niles. Car number 444. Zeelenberg rocking the... Let's go back up. Big dive up the inside of car number 199, who was our first driver out on track. Oh, trying to push the car number 91 car a little bit wide there. Oh, it's all getting a bit choppy. Everyone just needs to just take a little breather. Less than just over 6 minutes of this race done. Oh, well recovered there from that Lamborghini, but now they're suddenly 4 wide going down the Dunlop straight, down towards the braking zone. What's going to happen here? Malfoy in that new car manages to throw it in, holds on to the position. Really well done. And that is cars absolutely everywhere at the moment. They are 3 wide all over the circuit. They finally get through there cleanly. Oh, car number 34. Car number 34, that's Josh Waring. Josh Waring, what happened to him? He was on the time board. Let's see if we can jump back to him. That looked like it was the final turn. That looked like Goddard's. But we'll jump on board with him now. So this is Melbourne Loop. Oh, this is not the right car, is it? It is changed away. I've got the wrong one again. Josh Waring, let's see if we can catch it. Come on, change. Oh, it was an incident at Goddard's. To watch the timing screen through a little bit of a wobbly, and we ended up looking at the wrong car for a little bit of time there. Oh, Waring would be devastated with that. Now running in 21st place after such a strong start. Oh, actually, Toulouse drops back a long way as well. I think it's kind of a case of there is just incidents all over the place at the moment. They might only be little rubs, but it makes a big, big difference. So it looks like the top 5 have kind of broken away a little bit, and it's actually Demira who is leading this massive pack. Oh my goodness! It's like the fox versus the hounds out there right now. Demira with an absolute sea of cars, 3 wide behind him. Running in 6th place at the moment, but just look at it behind him. Cutting back a little bit now, so we're back with Feist. Who's trying to go around the outside of them? That is Rutter trying to go around the outside of them now. And they keep anything done. The Mercedes has a really good way of getting off the corners, goes very deep, going to try and maintain the speed around the outside, but that is off the grip. Will they get a better run? No, they won't. They've lost 1 position. Rutter goes through, I believe. Yes, Rutter goes through, and now Schaefer on the back as well. These mid-pack battles really, really heating up now. Oh, Kellaway into the pits. Are they going for an early pit, or is that for damage? Chloe did really well in qualifying, so I wonder if that is a case of damage on those incidents we saw earlier on at Goddard's. Could have quite possibly been. The squabbles continue all over the grid. So quickly jumping on board with our leaders. Horsey has really pulled away, and you can see Jimmy Holm as well trying to make a great effort there in the Holming missile car. I love the team name for that, absolutely love it. And then just behind them is Mueller versus Weber. We saw the Audi go really well here last night, but not so well there, gets unstuck. Oh, that was really unfortunate between them two, kind of 37 and 30 getting together. Mueller seemed to lose it on the exit of the chicane. Weber obviously trying to take advantage of that traction loss, but was unaware that Mueller was that far out of control and was actually rotating. Good job by Mueller to only lose 2 positions there, to be fair. Oh, goodness gracious. It is all kicking off here this evening. And they haven't even done 7.5 minutes of racing yet. Not even 7.5 minutes of racing. And it's all going absolutely bonkers out there. Right, jumping on board with Schaefer, who is leading this little pack right now. He's still in front of Fast in the Mercedes. How are they going to do here through Redgate? Who's going to be bravest down the hill? I know from experience the Mercedes does feel pretty great down here. You can pretty much keep it planted the whole way in. Got to turn in quite early to try and get the apex, and they do make the apex. But Schaefer looking like they're trying to pull away a little bit and looking pretty confident. So throughout the lap, we'll be interested to see if they can hang on to it. Little battle going on behind, just a few back as well. So this is Your Way Racing, car number 808. Troy-Boschke, and actually pulling away a little bit there from Martin, but just behind. They were absolutely neck and neck for a little bit down the bottom of the hill, but they do appear to have broken away ever so slightly. So a little bit further back. So McLeod having a good little squabble here as well. Not Fast, Just Furious is the name of the team. Absolutely fantastic name. As I'm looking at it now, actually, Toulouse and Kellaway have both completed their mandatory stops. So they have already done their mandatory tyre change. Ooh, battle going on in front there. Jimenez is going to try and go up the inside. He's definitely got a decent overlap. Yes, keeps 21 wide off the racing line. Definitely had a less fortunate exit. Although it might be able to come back down towards Goddard? Surely not. Yes, they can. Back up the inside. Great bit of switching. Car number 60 going to try and go around over the outside. Not able to do it, so it was a switch back and forth, those two. And Victor Martin, coming over the Craner curves, and they're nearly 3 wide for the Craners. Surely not. It's so close, it's so fast, it's such a high commitment turn, and then tries to go on the inside, then the one iron links. Victor Martin ends up going wide, a little bit of a rub. Really didn't have much of a chance to go anywhere else. Car recovering as well, just behind. That was one of the McLarens. I couldn't get the M word out. I knew it was one of the McLarens, just would not let the word come out. Actually, I do believe. Oh, yellow flag there. Yellow flag. Who was that? Or was that? No, it's just white. Just white flags coming up there. So some slightly slower drivers. Although the game does like to pop up these messages very, very quickly, the warnings. So on board with Vikoski at the moment, car number 92, right in the middle of another battle pack. All little moves going on in the background as well. Definitely looked much, much quicker mid-apex then. Porsche pulling away now with 3.5 seconds. Well, actually, that time it was sort of like 3 to 3.5 seconds. Home with a 2-second gap as well. So positions all over the place. Demira just coming down the hill at the moment, chasing after Mueller as well. The Mueller's got a nice little back marker between them with Toulouse. Always awkward when you come out of the pits and then you're immediately in amongst the top racers. You don't want to go slow, you don't want to lose too much time, but also you don't want to impede any of the racing going on. But to be fair, Toulouse looks like he's actually catching up to the back of Mueller. Interested to see if they can actually do anything with that time. So Mueller's last time round was a 1:27.2. Title Toulouse still haven't put in a flyer. This is their out lap. So wow, amazed they managed to hang on to the back of the top drivers if this is their first flying lap. To be fair, that's really a strong old effort. So jumping back down the grid with Zeelenberg running in the car number 56 Lamborghini. That's the Barwell Motorsport liveried car. Kevin Dowles right behind him and Vikoski just in front. But a pivotal part of the circuit here. All possible moves going on in the background. Let's see if we can jump back to that one. Was that? Yes, it was. It's Bjorkvist trying to go through. So Bjorkvist's going through and he does get the job done. Gets in car in front of Ziege in the 199 car. Kajowski just behind in car number 47, the BMW is going to be looking to maybe take advantage of the fact that Ziege seems a little bit off the pace at the moment. Oh yes, he looks up the inside of the turn one. Surely that's a big time. He must manage to get the car in there, muscles his way through. Don't think there was any contact there. That was done cleanly, but just a really brave move. Going to try and hold on to the inside. Ziege going to try and hold on to the inside now as they come through the Craners. Oh, and he gets the door slammed just in time. Really good effort there, really nice bit of clean racing for the pair of them. They gave each other room, but they definitely were pushing to the absolute limit. Those tyres probably screaming out in pain at the moment. Oh, and actually now Ziege under attack from car number 24. Is he going to go the inside? Yes, he is. That's McLean's. Can they get it done? Oh no, actually, sorry, I do apologise. It was actually Coppice. Doesn't get it done. Round the outside, manages to hold on to the pace, but now down towards the S's. Anything here? Not sure. Car number 91 I've just spotted in strife. Car number 91. That was. Oh, let's go back, see if we can spot what happened here. So, apparently running on their own. So this is Vaslev. Oh, just. Is this what I was saying about earlier on? You've got to be super careful with the exits here at Donington. Really easy to rotate the car, and I do believe that was just coming through Coppice onto the Dunlop straight. We are desperate to get the power down as soon as possible, but it just doesn't always go to plan, and does get themselves back going again, but I imagine that is significant damage to that car. So a quick jump on board with Carglou, who's currently running in 8th place. Does appear to be under attack. Car number 46 of sorry, I I do apologise. Sometimes my dyslexia definitely kicks in. I really struggle to say names. So I do apologise to everyone watching at home if I'm stumbling over names. Mitchell, there we go. That's the word. It took me about 5 times saying it with my mic muted to actually get it to work. Oh! And Toulouse jumping out the way. And I know he is a back marker technically, but I'm surprised he is sacrificing so much time on track. I mean, sometimes you've just got to do what's got to be done to get out the way of the cars racing around you. But oh dear, I was not expecting that whatsoever. Cargaloo now really closed up on the back of Alavi. Are we possibly going to see a move over this? Given a lot of times, this definitely looks like our closest ones at the moment. The back of the grid now getting a bit broken up. Obviously a bit of a mixture of back markers and damaged or pitted drivers. So coming down through the sector 1, down through the Hollywood and Crainer. Yeah, and it has to be said that seeing it in real life, this circuit, it is truly astounding how much of a altitude change there is across the circuit. And then if you got to walk around the thing, then you'll really know how big the hills are. Very similar to Brands Hatch. When you go there and you see turn 1 for the first time, it is like driving off a cliff. Oh, kind of nose into the pits. Just seen that pop on the timing screen. Having a little look at this gap out in front. 3.7 seconds at the moment, Horsey. Absolutely flying away. Lovely little livery on that car as well, it has to be said. I can't remember if I have a front splitter cam available for this one or not. We will have a quick look. No, that's not the right one. That's the... Oh, there we go. Inside the car. So let's jump on board. Very, very loud laugh. Apologies if that was incredibly loud for everyone at home. The in-car cams are a little bit on the loud side. So here he goes, throwing it into turn 1, absolutely on the apex. Plenty of curve on the outside edge. Now keeping it flat, big chunk of inside curve as it comes down through Crainers. Here we go, see flat all the way through, holds it in, a little bit of a correction on the wheel. Through the old hairpin, gets on the throttle on the exit. Great, using every last inch of curve available. Up the hill towards McLean's. Big chunk of inside curves, gets the braking done, swings it in the mid-engine car, giving him obviously the ability to brake a little bit later and be on the brakes all the way to the apex. Oh, massive chunk of inside curve there, and really unsettled the car. You saw the way the massive amount of opposite lock applied there. Coming on Dunlop straight now, down towards the S's. Hopefully the commentator's curse does not strike, but there he goes. There we go, look, the tyre stack already out the way by a long way. Oh. Sawing at that wheel to keep it in the right position. Just coming towards the end of the lap. So 1 corner left to go, and let's see what they can do. So the best lap from Horsey so far has been a 1:26.6. Is there going to be an improvement here? I'm not sure. But actually, no, definitely down on their time, but still a really good flying lap. So that was a 1:26.8 that we just witnessed. And absolutely flying out there. Now jump back with Jimmy Holm, who actually is now beginning to show a little bit of pressure, it would seem, from Webber, car number 37. Is that car number 37? Yes, it is. Definitely is car number 37. Right. So this might be one that heats up over the next couple of laps. Oh, but Cargaloo is under imminent attack right now from Kimichik. Oh yes, and as they climb the hill through Schwann's curve. Oh, look at that, just driving up the inside, fantastic. Surely they're going to get this done into braking now. I guess they do, goes through. Oh, gets a little bit unsettled though. Loses a lot of exit speed. It's going to be on the outside as they come down towards the S's, or they dip back in behind. I wonder if they're going to go for a dart to the left and then get on the brakes late. No, sticks behind through the S's, maybe hoping to get a slightly better exit. And I'm looking at it, they had a pretty dead heat coming off here. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to do anything here into Melbourne Loop. Looks to the outside, maybe going for a bit of a switchback. I think they were. They're going to get it to work. I don't think they are, though. Rutter also now starting to get up to the back of these two. So Cargaloo having to maybe make that Ferrari as wide as he possibly can. Oh, and actually, there we go. Kubicek comes into the pits, obviously deciding to go for a slightly early pit. So staying dry for now. Oh, kind of a 199. That was the Porsche we saw earlier on with XIII. What happened there? Oh, absolutely pants camera. We'll have to change that one. So came through the S's. Still flying. Got a Ferrari right on the gearbox of that one. What happens here? This is Melbourne Loop. Is it a little bit of a rub-on exit? It was. Just gets tapped round. Manages to keep it out the wall. So luckily not too much. Well, no real damage done to that car. Luckily, but that could have been a real issue. And actually come into the pits as well. So obviously deciding to come in and do the mandatory stop. So on board with Schaefer versus Terminen. 0.3 between these two drivers. Terminen, obviously a well-known name here in Apex Online Racing, and I feel like I should know Schaefer. I'm actually going to double-check my list. Oh, Schaefer, actually, no previous Apex Online Racing experience before this season. So, yeah, Schaefer doing a really good job there in the Cosmos Racing car number 993. Holding off Terminen, who we have seen a fast gentleman throughout the years. Are we about to see rain? I'm getting it in the chat, someone is yelling rain, but whether that's Morphe just wants rain or not, but it's just showing cloudy at the moment, and still on my timing board I'm not seeing any rain. The next 9 minutes, obviously we'll know if it's going to be in that time a little bit. Oh, see, Morphe just made me know. That's not fair. That's not fair. You wait, Morphe. Next time you're in an endurance race, I am going to curse you with the commentator's curse so hard. I'm going to have my own dedicated stream just streaming when you're in the car. I will hijack the Apex Online Racing one and make it so it's just watching you next time. Absolute meanie that was. Right, so close battles going on. Oh, Mueller and Demira. This is looking very close. Oh, kind of 808 has just had a yellow flag. And apologies everyone at home, we just got hit by the shotgun that is ACC. We had it last night and we had it then. I haven't had that in a little while, and then suddenly we witnessed it 2 nights in a row. It makes me jump every single time because it's the bang and then it goes completely silent in my ears and you're just sat there waiting for everything to come back. So Mueller still scrapping it out. Kind of a 7, that's a back marker. Oh, really intervening with that first little race there. Oh, that was very, very close. I imagine Demira will be a little bit upset about that. Oh, that wasn't Demira, was that? Who was that that they were passing then? I think that might have also been another back marker then. Because the timing board is throwing a bit of a wobbly, as it tends to do. Demira's going to want these guys out of the way as quickly as possible. He's still kind of pushed forward when there's obviously the battles in front. And he'll want to get up there lickety-split quick. Battle's going on further down. So this was the battle that's going on. This is why. So Stephen Frost in the Good Smile Racing car number 33 with that absolutely stunning livery is actually in a race for position with XIII. Porsche versus Porsche. Love to see. And XIII is all over his ankles like an angry Jack Russell at the postman. Tries to make the most of the traffic, but they go 3 wide and they rub. That was kind of a 662, I think, that got taken out then. Pretty sure it was kind of a 662. Let's see if we can spot that. It was one of the Lamborghinis. So maybe 662 is not the number I'm looking for. A bunch of cars jumping into the pit. Even more cars going into the pit. So not as many people looking to stay out. Everyone obviously pretty confident it's going to stay dry. The weatherman has not given us any reason to think it's going to rain as of yet, but we could see it. And yeah, Yeah, massive cars coming in. Already half the grid, I think, have completed their mandatory stops, and there's been quite a bit of bumping in the first half of the race, so maybe people thinking, I'm just going to get the damage fixed and get back out there. So this is the back of the 7th place at the moment. They kind of just started to space out slightly, if anything. I was about to say Cargaloo is on the attack, but he is not. So still going on further back. Oh, here's a good one. Kevin Niles versus Kellaway. Bit of a squabble going on between these three. Porsche goes up the inside. That's Bjorkvist, is it not? Yes, kind of a 5. Pushes his way past kind of a triple 4 with Niles. Oh, and Demira picks up the stop go 30 penalty. So that is for speeding in the pit lane. That is an in-game penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So either a little bit too quick on the throttle or too late on the brakes going in. That's possibly the worst penalty you can really get in ACC. The drive-through is bad enough, which you'll get for track limits, and we saw a few of them last night. But the stop go 30, that is the worst. That is in the pits, stop for 30 seconds, then you can carry on. You can't do anything to the car, no set, no change whatsoever. Oh, kind of a 3-3-3. Did they just return to the pits? If you teleport back, that's not going to work. That's not going to clear it. You've got to drive in. Also, the timing board out throwing an absolute wobbly now as we've got cars coming in. Cars dropping through. I think Bjorkvist is going to be one to keep an eye on, actually. Pushing forward quite nicely. 0.6 up on their best lap. Still no sign of rain. In about 4 minutes' time, we'll know if there's going to be rain towards the end of the race, which hopefully show the 30 minutes into the future, as it were, the forecast. Oh, Kimichik putting in the fastest lap of the race, or was for a very brief moment in time. There's some timing board changes. Let's move that away from my screen. So jumping on board with Horsey having a good squabble now. Obviously completed their pit stop. Probably running in 10th place. Oh, it was a 1:26.517 is currently the fastest lap. This is where you might start to see some of the fastest laps, as there's no refueling here in the Sprint Cup Series apart from in the 90-minute race where you can fuel. So at this point they've got fresh tyres, less fuel than in the very beginning, but they might be feeling a bit more tired. Koga coming into the pits as well. Fortunately, on the margin of the squabble, although I think just being able to pull away from Alexandra. We're going to be interested to see how everything comes along. I now know who everyone is referring to when they say Kimi. They are on about kind of a 46 of Kimichik. So I might use that. I might use Kimi. That's much quicker and easier for me to quickly yell out. Oh, Jimmy Holm, who is currently in first place, provisionally, is under attack though. It looks like from... Is that Cargaloo right behind him? I believe it is. No, it's not, and they've gone to the pits. Holm into the pits. So Cargaloo takes on first place just for a little bit if they stay out this lap. And we'll see what happens. They do. They stay racing. They're decided to stay on out there for now. During this pit stop stage, kind of times kind of go all over the place. Although Mueller and Bouquet still having an absolute squabble. 0.1 of a second between them. I wonder if we can get on the rear wing of that Audi. Yes, we can as they come down towards the S's. Oh, I love this shot. That rear-mounted camera showing us just how close Rutter is to the back of Mueller. Slightly defensive line there, I would say, from the Audi. Stay looking over the rear wing just a few minutes longer. Coming into Goddard's. Are they going to stay out? Are they going to pit? It looks like they're staying out again, and so does Rutter. But a really great exit there from Newland, manages to pull away, and that's going to be absolutely fantastic news for him, not having to defend quite so much as they come down the hill one more time. So that one has opened up a little bit right now, and let's see if there's any really, really close ones. As people are coming out the pits, it does tend to throw the timing board into a little bit of a wobble. Although Kevin Niles having a nice little battle now with Cowley. Cowley can get back onto the back of him, much wider line, obviously hoping to carry more speed down through the cranny curves. And Demira still in the pit. He's currently back to 26th position. Carglue into the pits as well, so Shipper is going to... Oh, Bjorkqvist gets a drive through. So where was Bjorkqvist? He was running just in front of them, wasn't he? 25th place, gets a drive through penalty. And in 10 seconds we're going to know if it's going to be wet by the end of the race. I think it might be full dry running here tonight. We should know any second if the timing, the weather changes. It doesn't appear to be. It looks like we're going to get dry running. I mean, we've seen it where clouds can turn into light rain, but I think that is going to be it. I think we're going to see a full dry run all the way to the end. So, of cars that have pitted, Porsche is currently leading in terms of cars that have pitted. Holm running in provisional second, Webber in provisional third. And then obviously we've got Jimenez and Piperata currently running in first and second on the road. Big old gap between them, so that's Piperata. And there we go. Sorry, there was Jimenez and there is Piperata. It does look nice, the Italian job livery, I've got to say. It's a livery that we've seen a fair few times, and I'm sure others have seen it all across the world of esports racing. It's a livery that persists across many different disciplines, many different cars and many different leagues. And it is nice to see a bit of consistency out there from time to time. So in comes Jimenez. So we'll see them tumble down the order. So any really close ones. And suddenly Piperata finds himself kind of all on his own, with no one else around for a little while. He's got a big old gap back to second place. Oh, it's quite nice when they're all on their own. You can really hear the scream of that Audi engine absolutely wailing its way around the circuit. Oh, here we go. Three-way battle going on for 22nd place. Kogert, Shipper and Niles all having a good squabble, it would seem. Although I think... Where is that? So I think Shipper's lost some positions there. Oh, and Shipper coming into the pits has already done a mandatory stop, so for what reason I'm not sure they're into the pits, but oh, and stopped short as well, I think. No, Kevin Niles now being chased down by Cowley once again. And that's Sebastian Lou Alexander that we saw coming into the pits in that Porsche. Oh no, it was not. Sorry, that's kind of 174. That is the Lamborghini that we've just seen pop up on the pit board. So a few cars coming in for second pit stops. Looks like Zeelenberg having a pretty good squabble now. Terminen on the back of them. Seen these two at it a fair few times throughout the race. It's been good to see. Schaefer, for a little brief moment, had absolutely no gap between them. Although, is that just... there we go. Actually, it's Victor Martin and Schaefer. Absolutely neck and neck once again. Victor Martin has just about managed to get past and has made the move stick. Can they hold on to it for the rest of the lap and push forward? Also got Fast coming up behind them as well. And Fast coming up fast. I'm sure at no point during his sim racing career someone has made that joke. I will claim it as my own. In fact, let's have a look, because Fast is quite a new driver to us. I don't believe they are on my sheet for whatever reason, I put together a little... Oh, here we go. Actually, yeah, so Simon Fast has absolutely no previous experience here with Apex Online Racing, apart from round 1 the other day. So I'm sure they've done plenty of racing elsewhere, as the pace would suggest. But actually, yeah, Feist, this is their first time round with Apex Online Racing and straight into Tier 2 for Toaster Racing. Brilliant effort. Do love to see it. So, three-way battle going on now. This is Clifford, Bjorkfist and Bryn. Oh, what a mistake there from Bjorkfist. Just about recovered. So that was between McLean's. Oh, and Toulouse coming up to the back of this as well. So that was between McLean's and Coppice. They went off the road. Piperata up in front as well, having a little look. Oh, Bryn decided to back away ever so slightly, maybe hoping for a better line on the exit, but it has not come to fruition. And all while these squabble, the Nissan starts reeling them in from behind. The top end. So actually third place running is Webber, and again Webber very nicely got in touch with me between the 2 rounds, just having an idea. He's from Bavaria, so Germany, 21 years old, drives in the SimRC endurance team, and they got the win in 24 hours of Spa in Split 2, so very well done. And also did, which was this? So that was champion race victory in Tier 2 Barcelona Season 10. Well, you put a question mark there, so it was one of those ones. I was hoping to get into Tier 1, but actually is quite pleased to be in Tier 2, simply for the fact that now they can go to nearly all the races. I think they only have to miss 1 race. So yeah, they'll be very pleased with that one. And they are more just looking for battles as opposed to winning the championship overall. They're happy to battle all the way back to 38th place. So that's really nice to see. Always really nice to see drivers not just saying, oh, I want to come here and, you know, get the W. I want to win, I want to win. It's nice to see drivers that are just here to race with their peers and have nice, close racing. So yeah, a bit of a shout out to Webber on that one. So back to the action a little bit. So this is Verdier and Sadar. Oh, sorry, Sadar Kargaloo. My brain completely broke then. I couldn't get any words out of my mouth. So there's a little squabble going on. So it's actually Vardier, Kargaloo and Mueller now as well. We saw Rutter on the back of this pack. Yes, there he is, just darting into the back of the shot. This could end up being a little 4-way squabble to the end. So we're just about 23 minutes on the nose left to race. Bardier, hold on to this one. Bardier, sorry, hold on to this one. Someone else a little bit further back. Hamling under attack again from Victor Martin. This is the problem when you come up behind a similar car to yourself. Essentially, it's only the setup differences and driver skill that's going to give you the edge here, and it can be really, really hard. Oh, the squabble going on behind them as well, actually. Which, again, I think was faced battling it out in the background of that shot. Oh, there's a 3-way battle going on behind, and here we go. Face trying to go around the outside. Can they make it work? I'm not sure. No, car number 23 goes through, and now car number 1, 2, 3 of Koga as well is trying to come up for the attack into turn 1. They're on the outside. Oh, Little gets slammed on them by that big Mercedes. Hollywood, they're down through the craners. How are we going to go? How is this going to work? Looks like Feist might be a little bit on the defensive. Hopefully not like a wounded deer. Seems to be doing all right. So Callaway, car number 23, pushed on through and got through and is staying clear and pulling away now. Quite easy, once you lose one position, it's easy to lose lots more. You sort of feel unsettled with everyone around you. It takes a little minute. Sometimes you've got to sort of maybe just give your head a quick shake, maybe a slap on the cheek for yourself and push yourself on. And not that cheek, Morphe, I know exactly what you're thinking. Schaefer, sorry not Schaefer, Feist has had to work so hard this evening. Like a cashier on Christmas Eve, those hands have been working so fast to keep things going the right way. And they're again under attack. Going on, it's kind of, I don't want to say, it's, oh, hang on, back a little bit further back. This is about for 20th place. Niles under attack from Cowley and Malfoy, and as well, Kachowski as well in the background. This little pack. Sort of pushing on. In fact, Niles has just pulled away ever so slightly there. The gap sort of concertinas in and out quite nicely. Giving a little eye on the type up in front. Christian Mueller under attack from Rutter once again. This group of cars have just been squabbling the entire way through. How they are not sharing more paint than they are at the moment, I'm not entirely sure. Mueller looks like a fairly good exit there. The Audi seems really strong through this final sector. We saw it get unsettled earlier on, but it's got himself back up into 8th position after that incident he had. That was with Bouquet, possibly. I'm sure someone in the chat will tell me. Yeah, we did see them get spun around as they were already losing traction and the car began to slide and go. We had someone right up the back of them. Through Hollywood, down through Craners, down towards the old hairpin. Audi does look so well poised. But to be fair, so do all these mid-engine cars. It's quite nice to see 4 cars, different brands, all fighting out so close together. It really does show how well the balance of performance works on ACC, keeping all the cars as equal as they possibly can. Obviously, you always get a little bit of, every time they change it, one car comes up slightly on top. Okay, Schaefer versus Kellaway. Kellaway looks to the inside, can't get it done, but Schaefer now really much on the defensive. Trying to hold the best racing line as possible, but Schaefer really did show that they were willing to get through, and I think we might see something here down towards the S's. Going to depend on who gets the better exit. Who's going to have it? Going to jump on the rear wing of the screaming Porsche as they come through the S's. Oh, big old cut there though from Kellaway. Going to try and go for a move here down into Melbourne. They're up the inside, getting the braking done. And gets a nose in front. Oh, goes a little bit deep. There is a rub. I think that will only come down as a racing incident. I mean, it was already kind of past at that point. It was almost 3/4 of the way past by the time they rubbed. I'm sure that is not the way that Schaefer will see it. But as moves go, I think that was a fairly clean one for this evening, it has to be said. You see some slightly dicey and choppy overtakes throughout the space of the evening. That one seemed like a pretty good one. And got it done, and now actually pulling away. Oh, hello. What happened there? Schaefer has also been taken by car number... No, I'm actually losing my mind. Kellaway pulling away. I got my small mid-engine cars confused. Oh, Bukowski under attack at the top of the hill. This is McLean's. Yes. And Hamling trying to go up the inside as they now head up towards Coppice. Still side by side. It looks like Victor Martin's going to try and take it back. So these two squabbling as well. There we go. Gets the move done. Hamling goes through and takes away 13th position as they come into the S's. Really good bit of driving. Oh, car number 92 doesn't get the best exit either. Bukowski under it now. Attack from Martin as they come down towards Melbourne. Surely not. Yes, he can. Under braking. Gets it done. Gets an overlap. Puts it up the inside and runs Bukowski that little bit wider. Might see a little bit of a comeback here though in Goddard's. We're going to try and go around the outside and maybe try and go for the switchback. But no, there we go. Car number 48 holds that inside line. Gets the car stopped at the apex. Slows down the run of Bukowski. And so Hamling and Martin get past all within the space of the end of the lap. So it would be very disappointed with that one. Battle going on as well here. Zeelenberg versus Terman. And this one has been a close one the whole way through. but Terminen unable to find a way past that Barwell Motorsport car. Again, two very, very similar cars. A bit different when you come up behind something like the Porsche or the Mercedes. They're obviously very different cars, either, you know, one being rear engine, rear wheel drive, and the other being front engine, rear wheel drive. When you've got cars like that battling, or you're in a mid-engine car versus them, you can play the differences. Whereas with these cars being so similar platforms, all comes down to the driver. It comes down to applying pressure, hoping that maybe someone's going to make a little mistake in front of you, maybe just dip a wheel into the gravel, maybe they go a little bit too tight on a corner and they realise they're going to get some sort of penalty or a track warning. If they cut too much, sometimes you've got to let off the throttle just so you're not going to get the warning. If you don't improve on your time, you won't actually get a track cut warning as long as you haven't improved over time whatsoever. So a bit of an odd one. Sometimes the game can throw a little bit of a wobbly. But now these two are squabbling on, and another one going on as well is a recovering Josh Waring versus Cowley. Josh Waring, as we saw right at the tippy top earlier, and then had an incident right here at Goddard's. Hoping to get a better run and see if they can make some ground up. Obviously completely messed up how they wanted to race. And I do apologise if my cough came through at all then. Suddenly my water went down the wrong hole. Which is always exactly what you want when you're trying to talk on microphone. Oh dear! And Waring! Oh my goodness, how he held that, I have no idea. Absolutely fantastic save. We'll go back and watch that one, and actually we'll see if we can. Which one is it? The bonus dash. We're watching from inside the car, super loud. I do apologise. We'll turn that one down a little bit. So you see, coming down through the craners, obviously got a really good run. Big chunk of inside curb then, hoping to get a better run. Gets on the brakes, swings it in, just unsettles the car. Oh, and actually, I think it was that little lift of the throttle as he was catching up with the back of Cowley. I think he had to let off ever so slightly, and it just unsettled the car. Mid-engine cars will snap back at you very quickly. So 13.5 minutes left of the race. Don't think we're going to see any wet now then. So it's going to stay all dry, which is quite different than what we thought we were going to see. Oh, and the timing board was having a little bit of a wobble on there, and just trying to work out where people are going. No, they're absolutely fine. But Josh Waring, after a great qualifying, is having a really hard time sticking to what he was up to. So now we're jumping on board with Verdier, who is being chased down by Cargaloo, who is being chased down by Mueller, who is being chased down by Rutter. But it seems to be Verdier and Cargaloo who are the closest on track at the moment. Kind of 8-8-2 versus 25. But it is a gorgeous car, isn't it? That is a wicked livery on that car. Those striking purples. Oh, went a little bit deep though. Maybe starting to struggle with grip a little bit towards the end of this race. Oh, the Koski gets a drive-through as well. That'll be a track limits warning. And Schaefer will be happy. That's a position gain for them at least. So down towards turn one. Mueller really starting to catch up to the back of these two again. He might be catching them snoozing, I think. Just noticed that Mercedes in the top 10 as well of Arlavi in the back of this shot. You can actually see quite a decent chunk of cars all in this one shot as they come down towards the old hairpin. Fling it through, hope it sticks, and back on the power. This appears to be our closest one at the moment. And they're just settling in. We're just getting a little feel for each other again, trying to close up the gaps, but don't want to push too hard, don't want to make a mistake. And it's certainly, coming inside the top 10 in the championship in any race is nothing to be sniffed at. So let's have a little look at our leaders for now. So Horsey currently running out in front with a absolutely whopping lead of nearly 7 seconds. Absolutely fantastic effort from Horsey this evening. Obviously the setup working absolutely great for them. Feeling confident. And actually, yeah, we just saw the homing missile just coming into the back of the shot there onto the pit straight. Actually a relatively short straight here at Donington. And quite a small pit as well. So we see Webber just behind him as well. Coming down the hill, car number 37. Webber had a really good race, actually. Great race for the 21-year-old. And then Kimi running in fourth. Again, a driver kind of running all on their own at this point. Fourth place, again, not a position to be disappointed with. Great effort. Still pushing on. So just coming into the last 10 minutes of the race. And then depending on where they cross the line, we might get to go one more. Jumping back down to this battle for 6th place though. Verdier, Cargaloo, Mueller. It is neck and neck. Again, they close right up towards the end of the lap. Just having a little look actually at where these drivers came last time. So Cargaloo, Mueller and Verdier, where were they all last time? So Mueller came 11th last time around, so that's an improvement in the second round. Actually, Mueller now starting to really look quite an attacking force on Cargaloo. I know Cargaloo was out last time round. Let's just see if I can find them on the list and where they finished. Oh, Webber will be pleased. They actually could not start the last round, so we're very pleased to be getting himself up on the podium if he can maintain this position. Did Cargaloo take part in the first round? I'm not entirely sure he did. Yes, he did. Oh, apologies. 6th place for Cargaloo, so not quite as good as last time round, but still very good. Just outside the top 5. And now you can see the Mueller effect. Mueller starts to come up on the back of Cargaloo. This little squabble's been going on for quite the amount of time, hasn't it? In fact, we're going to jump back on board with Jonathan Clifford, who is being chased by Bryn. About half a second between them. And Bryn is lapping significantly faster, with nearly half a second faster last time round. So it'll be interesting to see what Bryn can do. I think we've got a splitter cam we can go to. Somewhere one of these. Splitter cam, there it is. Look at this. Oh, there we go. Absolutely fantastic shot. A splitter mounted camera. We're going to stick on this one for just a little bit. And watch them push down towards the S's. Closes right up under braking, big chunk of curb on the inner and outer of the turn. Does look like Clifford maybe got a slightly better run there. Oh, but under braking, Bryn super confident on the brakes. Chasing after that 999 car. Again, getting on the brakes down into the final turn. Oh, they both go a little bit deep. This could be one to keep an eye on. This is the battle for 27th place. Oh, and in front as well. A little bit of a change going on. I can't see anyone in the pits, but the timing board just threw a bit of a wobbly as if someone was in there. Oh, Bjorkvist behind. So this is Jimenez and Bjorkvist having a nice little squabble. Half a second between them. I know as soon as I cut away from the Verdier battle, it seems to close right back up again. And every time I cut back to them or go to, suddenly the gap opens wildly again. But these two having a lovely little squabble. So Jimenez trying to come up on the back of Bjorkvist. Can he do anything here to McLean's? No, he can't. He's going to have to just keep going. Maybe hope for a little bit of a mistake. Up at Coppice. Not sure we're going to see it though. Bjorkvist has driven a pretty good race for the Eclipse Racing Esports car, trying to keep themselves out of trouble. Pretty sure we saw them with the drive-through earlier. That's the main thing. It's just however much speed you've got. Doesn't matter if you end up with a drive-through. It's absolutely killer for you. So with 6 minutes left of the race, I think this is when people are starting to make their final charges. Trying to keep an eye on as the times. Everyone's starting to tighten up all over the place now. And actually, this might be one to keep an eye on as well. Oh, teammates as well, both racing for Your Way Racing. Now, I don't know if they're in the same sort of Discord chat. I don't know if they're able to hear each other and speak with each other and communicate. But this could be a little bit tad tight. Oh, and actually the McLaren goes very wide on the exit of the old hairpin. Oh, Kevin Niles. Here we go. Here's another one. Malfoy versus Niles. And Malfoy gets quite a nice run. Has to go to the outside. Are they going to go for the switchback? Yes, they are. Oh, who's going to get a better run? I think it is going to be Malfoy if he can get up the inside. Yes, he can. He's managed to go there. They're going to be neck and neck down towards the S's. And it's going to be who's bravest on the brakes, I think. Although, to be fair, Niles still has the optimum line. Yes, he does. But is he going to then be able to maintain the speed on the exit? Yes, he is. So once again, down towards Melbourne. Malfoy is stuck behind Niles. Oh, but a move to the inside. Surely not. Yes, he does look like, oh, not quite getting the overlap. Really, really going for it. God, and Malfoy looking so racy right now. Really, really on the aggressor of these two. Going for the switchback. Oh, really clever little bit of driving there from Niles. He knew he had to stay in front, so just ran as far around the corner as possible. Cut off that inside line. 4 minutes and 22 seconds left of the race, and to be fair, we've seen some pretty impressive defensive drives this season already, and I think 4 minutes 12 seconds is totally doable for Niles. The main thing is just to not make any mistakes. He can go defensive, but he cannot afford to put a toe out. Oh, Kellaway, this is a battle going on. This is Kellaway versus Koga. I think we might have just missed the actual pass for position. Yes, up the inside, nicely done, left plenty of room for each other. Really, really nice, clean bit of driving there. Lovely done. So back on with Niles and Malfoy, and we find them again coming towards the S's. Oh, nice little squabble going up in front, actually. Just noticed that in the top of the shot. This Vardier battle. So with maybe 3 laps left of this race, there is still nothing between this pack. Vardier has become the thumb on the end of the hose, holding back the pressure. And it is just a case of everyone in this little quartet of drivers hoping for a mistake from one of the others. And in fact, what we're going to do is if I press the right button, which I did not, of course I didn't. There we go. Looking back, you can see the 4 of them going at it. And actually, Vardier managing to get away a little bit. Is Mueller having to now go on the defensive? I think he might be. So actually going to jump back. And yes, looking back from Christian Mueller towards Cargaloo. God, you can really see the details on that livery now, on that Ferrari. Oh, what a great run! Great run down towards Melbourne. Could this finally be a change in position? We've seen these 4 absolutely squabbling like mad. Mueller trying to hold onto the position. Goes a little bit deep on the brakes. He does! Car number 25 of Cargaloo goes through, but I'm not sure it's going to get the door shut. Mueller coming back now down towards Goddard's. Getting on the brakes. Does it? Is he going to hold onto the inside? We've seen loads of people defend really well here this evening, and yes, he does! So, after finally getting past, it was only for 1 corner, and Cargaloo is again stuck back in 8th position. Oh my goodness gracious, I am running out of voice and verbiage to use to describe these battles. There's so many still going on all across the grid. This definitely seems to be the main one to go for, though. Oh, car number 21. Car number 21 with the yellow flag. Let's see if we can spot car number 21. Ooh, trying to find them on the timing board quickly. Who was that? Was that right near the front car? Car number 21. Yes, they must be nearer the back of the field. Maybe that was a case of them going off track to allow cars through. Oh, that was Bryn. So what happened with Bryn? Let's jump back and see if we can spot what happened there. Oh, there was a car off in the background as well. Now, was that what the yellow flag was for? Quite possibly. We may have just missed it. So, going to jump back on board with this Cargaloo-Mueller battle. Wait for us to be going live. We're a few seconds behind, I believe, still. Should change over in just a moment when the graphics pop back up on screen. It's when it's live. Yes, there we go. Oh, car number 56, well off the track. And that was Zeelenberg. So Zeelenberg off the circuit for whatever reason. Zeelenberg running in 11th place. So what happened there? Oh, I think we may have missed an incident. Let's go back. So it was Zeelenberg, wasn't it, that we saw have the incident? What happened here? Oh, yeah, it was a collision with car number 56. The car number 56 just has to hold his brakes and wait a little bit. He may have held up the Ferrari ever so slightly, but was in an attempt to get himself back and going. He was right in the middle of the circuit. I don't think anything can really be said about that too much. Kellaway on the attack in front now. And Victor Martin managed to get away with that one reasonably convincingly. Oh, and that's it. So we are on the final lap. So where is Horsey? Horsey coming up towards... Oh, the final turn, actually. Horsey about to come across the line. So Horsey coming across the line. Fantastic effort. Cargaloo seems to be holding on to 7th place as well, unless we see some sort of crazy dive. Oh no, Vardier lost 2 positions. Vardier down 2 positions. So while we were watching everything else going on, Holm comes across the line. Webber comes across the line. Kimmy comes across in 4th. Great drive from them. So it looks like we're going to watch this battle to the end. Mueller coming across the line in 6th. Cargaloo 7th. Vardier 8th. And Rutter is going to be 9th. And following along just behind them actually is Alavi as well. Let's cut back to Hamlin. This was a nice little battle that we saw. We saw Hamlin, Martin and Kellaway having a good squabble. Someone is doing a burnout just off camera. Absolutely great effort from everyone this evening. And so battles continuing on further down. Oh, they're just punching up as they get to the finish line. Jumping on board with Jonathan Clifford. Car number 999. Oh, goes a little bit deep there actually. But manages to hold on to the position. Actually, yeah, running in 24th position as they come across the line. And there's cars littering the circuit. Big flash of the lights there from Clifford. They'll be very, very pleased with that. Absolutely fantastic drive from everyone this evening. So a few cars to come. And there we go. That is everyone across the line. Let's quickly go to the timing boards for the race. So there we go. There is the finishing order. Grab a quick picture of that before the game decides to get rid of it all. So it was Horsey came across the line in pole, followed by the Holming Missile in 2nd, Webber in 3rd, Kimmy in 4th, Bouquet 5th, Mueller 6th, Cargaloo 7th, Verdier 8th, Rutter 9th, and rounding out the top 10 is Alavi. And I feel like I'd be doing everyone sort of a disservice if I didn't keep going. Hamling in 11th. Martin 12th, Kellaway 13th, Zeelenberg in 14th, and Terminen in 15th place. So Kogut in 16th place, Schaefer 17th, Feist in 18th place, Kevin Niles 19th place, Malfroy 20th, Cowley 21st, Kajowski 22nd, Waring after absolutely amazing qualifying as well, down in 23rd place, Piperata 24th, Clifford 25th, Vukoski 26th, Trukowski 27th, Ziege 28th, Jimenez in 29th, Bjorkvist 30th, Bryn 30th, 32nd is Frost, Alexandra in 31st, Toulouse all the way down in 34th position and did really well in qualification as well. I think it was simply just a case of one of those things of came out as a back marker very early on and had some issues there. Chipper down in 35th, 36th is Demira, Vazlev in 37th and McLeod 38th. Really, really good race from everyone. And now we do appear to have our poleman in the box. So we'll jump across to them and we will drag them into the interview room. Good evening, sir. What an amazing race from you this evening. Absolutely fantastic effort. How did it feel out there, taking pole position today?
Thank you very much. It felt very nice. The car really did what I thought it would. I just turned the wheel and it did what I asked.
Fantastic.
I really hope no one got confused after my practice lap, guys. If anyone is watching from tier 2, that was a one-hit wonder. Don't worry, I really am not that good. That was just a one-hit wonder, really.
Oh, is that in the practice session at a 125.6?
Yep.
I mean, to be
Like there was no way I will do it in quali, and I didn't even get pole in quali as well. So I think that proved the point.
Yeah, to be fair, Waring actually, he as well set a 20 into the 25s in practice, and he took pole in the session. So, yeah, I mean, it does really show just how close tier 1 and tier 2 are. There really isn't much difference between sort of either of the two tiers. So, really nice to see you so close. You said that the car just drove how you wanted. Did you go for an entirely dry setup, or were you prepared for mixed conditions?
I always try to go for an entirely dry setup because I know myself and I know that in wet I'm like a pig on ice. And I know that even if I made the setup more suited for wet conditions, that would be no help for me. So it was either a really good race or a really bad one, and thankfully it turned out to be a really good one.
Oh,
I really
well,
hope that I didn't screw up. It was Callaway's race because I did do a dive bomb into the last corner. I really hope that wasn't the reason why he got spun around.
I think we caught that incident on camera. I can't honestly remember. There's been a lot of incidents this evening. Nothing too major, but there's been quite a few little bumps and grinds. So over the space of the entire race, after a little while, they all become a bit of a blur. I'm sure if there was an issue, the stewards will look into it, obviously post-race. But I'm sure if you fire him a message to sort of say that it was not intentional, and I'm sure that tends to be, all sins are forgiven usually if everyone's polite to each other. Makes a big difference, everyone being friendly. So looking at the championship, obviously last time round... Oh no, this is your first race, isn't it? This is your first round with us.
No, I was here round one.
Yes,
for Valencia.
yes, you were. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You came in third place. So a third and a first. Really strong effort. I think Josh Waring last time he had a second place and has now got a first place. So I think that puts you in second place in the championship. I'm willing to be wrong on that one, and I often am when it comes to numbers. But I'm pretty sure that puts you in second place overall in the championship, and a great way to start the championship.
I really hope that I can continue this good effort that I think I put in so far, going through the other races that are coming up. Spa is not going to be the race where I get the most points. I can tell you that one.
Well, I mean, it seems like if you can maintain this kind of pace, you're in for a really good season. Looking forward to the next round, which, looking at it, I'm pretty sure is Laguna Seca. I will double check that information right now on my screen. Yes, it is. So we're at Laguna Seca, then Spa, then we've got Brands Hatch, and I have heard apparently it's going to be pretty wet there. Then a dry Snetterton, and then over to Imola. Out of those circuits, is there one you're particularly looking forward to?
Well, if it was dry and you just said that it will 100% be wet, then I would be looking forward to Brands Hatch, but because it will be wet, I think the circuit I'm looking forward to is Imola. That's a really great track for GT3 cars. I think it was designed for them. Well, not practically, but yeah, it was built for Formula One, but it really doesn't suit Formula One, like modern Formula One. But it is a fantastic circuit for GT3s. There's no denying to that.
Yeah, I think Sector 1 with the GT3 cars and the tin top racing, it does work really well, Imola. I think the cars can take the curbs reasonably well in the latest update as well, so it makes going through the chicane pretty quick. So it sounds like the race you're least looking forward to is a very wet Brands Hatch. I mean, I'm only going off what the pre-race sort of settings were saying, but it looked like it's fairly likely to rain, and being based in the UK, it's probably going to be raining cats and dogs over there. So, as it tends to be, you were obviously very pleased to see no rain this evening. So it really just kind of all went to plan, didn't it? Really, the setup worked, the car worked. How's the McLaren feeling here at Donington? Sort of as expected?
Yeah, the McLaren felt just as expected. It should be the second fastest car here after the Audi. Thankfully, there were no, or maybe one Audi, but he wasn't in. Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah,
up there with.
there was Mueller who came across the line in 6th, and he was squabbling hard with 5th place and 5th and 7th. It was a 4-way battle for a long old time. So that's the highest placed Audi was 6th place. But it's nice to see not just a single manufacturer lockout at the top. You know, we've got McLaren, Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren again, obviously, Lamborghini, then it was the Audi, and then the Ferraris, and actually there's even the Mercedes inside the top 10. So it's really nice to see such close racing all the way across the board. And so the BOP definitely seems to be working. Did you notice a big change when they did the major physics update in ACC, or did it feel better to you? I mean, for me personally, I think the game drove a lot better. I usually drive the Mercedes, and so finally having a car that actually handled was quite nice. But did it really change how the car felt? I mean, obviously it's a new car as well, this McLaren, it's the new Evo updated one. But since that big physics update we had a little while back now, has the game felt better to you?
Oh yeah, surely it did. I feel like that everyone was not an alien before, now got a lot closer to alien times. Like he even beat their 1.8 fastest PBs, and it's only the aliens who got two tenths slower, which I'm not sure about. I could be wrong on that, but this is just an observation I did for myself, and one I noticed on myself as well. But I definitely like this update a lot more. I struggle with consistency still, so the fact that you can actually go over the curves just slightly wrong and not die is a very big help for me.
Well, I mean, it clearly works. Clearly works for you. Really, obviously coming in and showing basically who's boss with 2 podium finishes. Absolutely fantastic. I say thank you ever so much for joining me in the booth this evening. It doesn't look like anyone else is brave enough to join, so I'm very, very glad that you are, and you're always welcome back in the booth here at Tier 2. And in the future, if you're in Tier 1, I'm sure you will love it in the booth as well. It's a nice place to be. But for now, thank you very much for joining us. Any final words before we close off the interview?
Freedom, as the next round is America. Freedom.
Oh, yeah, it's Laguna. I always forget that Laguna Seca is America. For some reason, in my mind, it's not an American circuit, but it definitely is an American circuit. I think it's because it's such a non-stereotypical American circuit. It's not big and wide and flat. It's got so many undulations and obviously the corkscrew. So yeah, looking forward to that one then. Fantastic to hear.
Yep.
Brilliant. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me in the booth. Right, well, that is looking like the end of it. It doesn't look like anyone else has been quite brave enough to come into the booth. Sometimes they pop up quite late, but it's looking like everyone's decided that they don't fancy it, which is, is fair enough. Some people, it's not their first language, so they just decide it's better to not come in and join, which is always a shame. They're always welcome, however broken the English may be. So from me in the booth, Tim360Learn, and from our sponsors SIMSOK and Driver61, thank you ever so much this evening, and you will join us back here next week for Tier 2, and if you can't wait that long, Monday night 7:30 in the same place is Tier 1, so you can watch the tippity top aliens, and then you can watch the rising stars the day after, and I do really recommend watching the Tier 2 race, not just because I'm the one broadcasting it. I do the Tier 1 as well now, but it's really good to see the rising stars. You know, we've had some huge names come up through the ranks, so the people you see here will probably be in Tier 1 next time round. But from me in the booth, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week at Laguna Seca.
It's Noah's Ark 2x2 formation. Road change, now we go racing for the first time this season. 3 hours of GT action, it's go.
It's very tight as they come down. Group of cars coming in. This has all got trouble written all over it. There's a G3 car.
Drop downhill, they head towards the Aqua Minerale. Imola, of course. There's another one off through the gravel. As wide as possible as they drop downhill, putting that truck inside line. Yes, he did. Through he goes.